schedules to attend today's work session. And before we begin, may I request that those present please turn off cell phones or put them on vibrate. And for the audio record, excuse me, that's being made, I'd like to note that the following council members are present at today's work session. Ms. Bolton, Mr. Bonato, Mr. Mattei, Ms. Miles, Mr. Shu, Ms. Velasquez, and myself, Bernadette Baca Gonzalez. This afternoon's council has the privilege to honor the Kiwanis Club of Trinidad by proclaiming January the 12th as Kiwanis Club of Trinidad 90th anniversary celebration. Would any of the representatives from Kiwanis who are present, if they would care to come to the podium and introduce yourselves? You're certainly invited to do that. I can see the president and other dignitaries.
I'm coming up. I'm George Nuno. If you know me, I've seen you before. I happen to be the oldest member in terms of seniority of the Trinidad Kiwanis Club. Very proud of that fact. This year will be my 40th year in the Trinidad Kiwanis Club, and my father was active in the club before him. The Trinidad Kiwanis Club has provided a lot of services to a lot of our citizens in this city, particularly with the children. That's our focus, always has been on the children. We're very proud to be here, and we really thank you for your proclamation.
Yes,
and have everybody else come.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Hi, my name is Ed Norris. I'm the current president. And contrary to what some of my club members think, I was not a charter member. Anyway, we have about 26 members, and at a high, I think, of 34, 35 at one time. So, just like George said, we do a lot of fundraising for the kids in the community, give scholarships and so forth. So, that's what we kind of do, and kind of looking for more projects to do too. So, anyway, our Vice President, Karen Malone, is next. So, what happens?
Welcome, Ms.
Thank
Malone.
you for having me. I'm the Vice President of the Kiwanis this year, and I just wanted to say thank you for proclaiming the Kiwanis 90th birthday and giving us a special day. That's really nice. Okay, thank you very much.
And now I have the pleasure to read the proclamation. The Kiwanis Club of Trinidad 90th anniversary celebration is January 12, 2013. Whereas Kiwanis International is a global organization of volunteers dedicated to changing the world one child and one community at a time, and whereas Kiwanis's mission is to give primacy to the human and spiritual rather than to the material values of life, to encourage the daily living of the golden rule in all human relationships, to promote the adoption and the application of higher social, business, and professional standards, to develop by precept and example a more intelligent, aggressive, and serviceable citizenship, to provide through Kiwanis clubs a practical means to form enduring friendships, to render altruistic service, and to build better communities, and to cooperate in creating and maintaining that sound public opinion and high idealism which make possible the increase of righteousness, justice, patriotism, and goodwill. And whereas Kiwanis empowers people at every stage of life to become competent, capable, and compassionate leaders by helping them learn to help others, and whereas the Kiwanis Club of Trinidad was chartered 90 years ago on January 12, 1923, and has persevered through 9 decades to create leaders within our community, promoting the values of Kiwanis. Now, Therefore, I, Bernadette Baca Gonzalez, Mayor of the City of Trinidad, Colorado, do hereby proclaim January 12, 2013 as Kiwanis Club of Trinidad 90th Anniversary Celebration Day in the City of Trinidad, and urge all citizens to support our local Trinidad Kiwanians to further their mission standards and encourage the community to support them with local, community, and fundraising events. Congratulations, and I'd like to present this to the President. If I could trouble you to come up.
Madam Mayor, do you want all of them up here for a picture?
Oh, yes, sure. If you would like to, and then just array yourselves, and we'll have a nice photo opportunity. I'll come back around here, and I'll scoot in and make room. And we'll get, you tell us when the photo op is ready, guys. Yes, thank you. Oh, thank you. Congratulations again. This is an outstanding milestone for your club, and you have the city's sincere appreciation for your demonstration of leadership and commitment to the community. Our next agenda item would be petitions or communications, oral or written, and I don't believe anyone has signed up. So we will go to the next agenda item, number 2, consideration of an ordinance repealing and reenacting section 1212 of Article 3 of Chapter 12 of the Trinidad City Code for the purpose of restructuring rates for electric service, power, and energy. And I believe Mr. Aker will present some information about this.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. Before you in your packet is both the new proposed ordinance and the ordinance from a couple of years ago, ordinance 1909. At your request in December, our consultant went back and took a look at and got additional information and redid the rates and took a look at how we can structure the rates such that there are some cost savings, especially during the winter months. And that's what's reflected in the new ordinance. We're proposing that the ordinance be effective as of February 1st, and that we basically, for electric rates, will have a summer rate and a winter rate, with the winter rate being slightly less for as you start using more power. Overall, I think it will be a decrease in a benefit to the citizens. The base rate did go up slightly, but that's to cover that, and the PCA is effectively going to be zero unless something happens to where we bring it back to City Council saying we need to make a change. With that, I will entertain any questions, and if I'm unable to answer them, I will get with our consultant and get those answers for you.
Are there any questions from members of council?
I do. What is the average kilowatt-hour consumption for, say, a family in Trinidad?
I don't have that off the top of my head, but I can find that out.
Okay, that would be great.
Okay.
Because I see it's kind of tiered. It's over 600 kilowatt hours, and I would imagine the average is above that, but I just want to get some sense of exactly who this is going to
Okay,
be.
I will do that.
Okay.
If you look at page 2-14 in your packet, I was going to focus on that. There are 6 rate classes delineated and the percent reduction in each group. And I'm pleased to report that there will be a 2.7% reduction based on this exhibit for the large, light, and power users. The next reduction in size is a 1.9%, almost 2% reduction for general electric service. And we'll have a 1.7% reduction for residential, a 0.6% for reduction for security lighting, and a 0.5% for the electric water heater service, and a 0.5% for street lighting. So those are small percentage reductions, but I think in these trying economic times, any reduction, I'd rather have a small percent of something than 100% of nothing. Thank you for doing that.
And this will be considered again later in this meeting unless you'd like to postpone it, but we're kind of grouping it together because we weren't quite ready on January 4th when we first came back, or January 2nd when we first came back. So in order to meet our deadlines with recording and publishing, we wanted to bring it today. Before we have that special meeting, I will find out the answer to your question, Councilman.
Are there any questions? Ms. Bolton?
Is there a difference between, or what is the difference between what was in our packet and what was provided prior to the meeting?
There's a slight wording change.
In the ordinance?
In the ordinance. I'll have Audra knows exactly where it is and can point it out.
It's identified in the monthly rate under each of those categories. It's to just provide some clarification for our billing department. And basically it says that the rate shall be reflected on utility bills issued on and after June 1st for the summer rates, and on and after October 1st for the winter rates. It's just to help them with the billing.
Are there any additional questions? And actually, the next step would be to consider it at the special meeting, which is immediately after our work session. So as we will take that up again here shortly, we're going to move on to the next agenda item, which is agenda item number 3, discussion regarding appointment of a commissioner to the Trinidad Housing Authority Board. And Mr. Aker, do you have any comments on it?
I was just going to comment that it has come to my attention, I've had a couple of people talk to me over the short time period I've been here, that there is a vacancy on the Housing Authority. It is a purview of the mayor to appoint that person. And I know there's been some interest from various folks about being that member, and I thought it might be good for council to discuss what process they might want to follow, and then staff will provide any assistance that we can.
Let me just provide a little bit of information. I know Mr. Bonato has been on city council before, and Mr. Shu's been here for a while, so you two may know a bit about the history of the Housing Authority. But after Mr. Harry Sayer passed away, I received a phone call advising me that it was now going to be necessary for me to appoint a commissioner to the Housing Authority. Well, this was all news to me. I knew absolutely nothing about the Housing Authority. And individuals have expressed interest. My understanding of the history is that the mayor solely has acted to appoint individuals in the past. And I believe there's even been an occasion where the mayor appointed himself or herself. And in the interest of transparency and ensuring that everybody knows and understands the process and what is occurring, I wanted to come to council, make you aware of it, to let you know that I received some letters of interest from various individuals. And you know, we certainly will be selecting a commissioner pretty quickly, but I would like to get input from members of council about individuals who they think might well serve as a commissioner for the Housing Authority, to give you that opportunity to provide some input. Judge Noonan has indicated interest. Mr. Grego has indicated interest. Ms. Valtree, who I believe at one time was responsible for the Housing Authority, has also expressed interest. And along with that, Ms. Shire, who's in charge. Ms. Shire, you may want to wave your little hand. She graciously also ran an advertisement in the local newspapers to try and get the word out about the availability of this position. And I would certainly like us to move forward as quickly as possible, but I did want to give each of you an opportunity to know what was afoot and to provide your input and to just have some discussion about how we should proceed with this matter.
Excuse me, Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir.
This term, is it just for the vacancy of Mr. Sayers after he passed? Or is that a continuation?
That's my
of his term?
understanding. Ms. Shire, do you know exactly how long that term would be?
Harry was reappointed last year, so it'd be about 4 years.
About 4 years. And so that I can also make you aware, this is not a compensated position. And Ms. Shire, if I say something wrong, you just shoot your little hand in the air. But I believe that with the appointment as a commissioner, there's the opportunity to obtain training. And I think that training is twice a year, and I think it's someplace on the East Coast, and then the other training location, if I remember correctly, it may be Las Vegas or something like that. So, by way of a little perk, you may be able to take a trip to either Las Vegas or someplace right outside Washington, D.C. Viva Las Vegas.
How big of a commission? How big of a commission is it?
It's a 5-member board.
5 members, each serving for 5 years,
Correct.
staggered appointments?
And if I remember correctly, Ms. Shire, would you mind coming up to the front? Because I know you know facts better than me. I think it'd be appropriate, I'm sorry that I don't remember off the top of my head who the current commissioners are.
The current commissioner, Jenny Garduno is our chair. Dwayne Lloyd is our vice chair. Detective Sergeant Behill from the Police Department sits on the commission.
Yes.
And our 4th member is Marie George.
So the vacancy is that 5th position. Thank you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Mrs. Daltrey serve on that board for many years?
Mrs. Daltrey served as the executive director for 25 years.
Oh, she was the director of that, okay. And she showed interest in that?
Yes, she did. She sent me a letter. Any questions? I'm seeking your input, suggestions, because this was all new to me, and I said I'd rather err on the side of sharing it with you as well.
I really think means that you went and put it out, you know, that, and people sent their names in, maybe we ought to look at that.
Okay, just those who submitted today? Okay.
We don't have no general ordinance or something like that, because it was always up to the mayor. If I remember correctly, it was always in the mayor's appointment. Whoever our mayor was, whoever he or she
And I
appointed
think
was
that was
that
the
was the way
practice,
it
Mr.
was.
Donato, but
Yes,
when I researched the state law that actually governs the formation of housing authorities, or did govern the formation of housing authorities and the continuation, it appears that although the mayor makes the appointment, the council does in fact have to at least approve that appointment. And I'm not a lawyer by any means, so you might want to have somebody take a look at that. And I did send that or copies of that part of PRS to you, and I can get more copies of it.
I'll just make sure that Mr. Downs takes a look at that, because I want to certainly make sure that whatever I do, I comply with the state law. It's Colorado Revised Statute 29-4-205.
Will do, Mayor.
Excuse me. Thank you so much. Are there any other comments or suggestions? Mr. Aker?
Would you like staff to come back with any suggestions once we've reviewed that, say at the next work session? Or how fast do you want to?
I think our next work session would give sufficient time for Mr. Downs to research it, and if staff has any particular recommendation, I'd appreciate that. In terms of the procedure.
Right.
Excuse me.
Right, we'll get that. We'll make sure that's scheduled for the next work session.
Okay, and then I'll provide you the letters of interest so that you can put them in the packet to the council members.
And I'll confer with Mr. Raker, and we'll do a memo to you and the council.
Very good. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here, Ms. Shire. Any additional questions? If not, we'll move to the next item, which is agenda item number 4, consideration of a water lease agreement between the City of Trinidad and Mr. Ken Torres of Torres Fish Hatchery. And Mr. Fernandez, I understand you will help us with this particular topic.
Yes, Mayor. Madam Mayor, members of council, this is a standard agreement that we have with several water customers along Highway 12 where we supplement their water supply in lieu of them not having decreed water rights. Basically, it's a temporary water supply. It's called the substitute water supply plan. And in this case, Mr. Torres, we're looking at 6.85 acre-feet of water. Our current rate that we lease water for is $500 per acre foot. So the total compensation he'd make to the city would be $3,425. And in addition to that, we do have a requirement here where he pays our legal fees. And of course, that's for Mr. Khan to review the agreement, and that's $281. The only change I would request is that after we presented it or submitted this for council, I did get a call from Ken Torres, and he asked if we could extend the agreement for 2 years instead of 1 year, and I don't think we have a problem with that. That should be all right. Of course, that's going to double his expense. It's at his request.
Are there any questions from members of council?
Is this a new agreement or renewal?
No, it's a renewal.
Oh, I'm fine with
Okay. Any other questions? And just for, again, to make sure that everything's very clear, there is no way that this amount of commitment to water is going to create any kind of hardship for the city, given the, the drought conditions we've endured.
No, that information that Mr. Khan presented that had all our commitments, this was included in that.
Okay.
So it's nothing new. It's
Okay, so it's already been.
Original commitment.
Okay, very good. I just want to make sure that our consumers aren't dinged with a problematic request. Any additional questions from council? And our next step would be this will be brought forward at our next regular meeting? Okay, thank you very much.
Madam
Yes,
Mayor, while I have your attention, I would like to report that I did get a phone call from John Harm, the National Public Gas Association,
Yes.
our gas supplier, and he would like to come to Trinidad and meet with the council and city manager and the city attorney. He said probably towards the end of February, beginning of March, just to meet everyone. But also he wants to discuss the possibility of doing a locked-in pricing arrangement. So I would, at least for the council, when we think that would be appropriate for him to come down.
and Mr. Aker, I think you and staff can take a look at that and coordinate with Mr. Fernandez so that if you believe it's appropriate that we can arrange to have him at a future meeting.
We'll get it scheduled to where he can sit down with staff, and then we'll follow it up with a presentation to council at a work session.
Okay,
Probably
great.
late February.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much. The next agenda item is agenda item 5, which is consideration of a letter for services provided by Dixon, Waller and Company Incorporated for the year ended December 31, 2012. And Mr. Aker, I believe you'll present this item.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. This is our standard routine yearly audit engagement letter. They dropped it off just before Christmas time. We decided to wait until after we had the budget completed to bring it forward to City Council. We typically, my understanding is we like to have City Council take a look at it, consider it, and then really the audit direction should come from City Council. It's that good checks and balances. So with that, if there's any questions, I've taken a look at it. I didn't see anything that was out of unusual. From the staff standpoint, I think it's ready to go, but pending council's approval. If you don't have any questions, we'll get it set for the next regular meeting.
Any questions from council? Ms. Miles?
Has there been any change in the fee level for the maximums?
You know, I don't believe there has. I will confirm that. Since I wasn't here last year, I did not get a chance to take a look at that. I don't think it's changed from the past, from my recollection of discussion, but I will confirm that.
Actually, I noticed the not to exceed rate for this year is lower than last year.
Oh, you check that? Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Bolton. Any other questions or observations? Mr. Akers?
I just want to say thank you, and hopefully, pending if I'm around next year, I'll be able to answer that question right off the top of my head.
Thank you. So our next step will be to put it on an agenda for action, and I guess that would be at our next regular meeting. The next agenda item is number 6, consideration of proposed grant agreement between the State Board of the Great Outdoors Colorado Trust Fund and the City of Trinidad for the Boulevard Edition Nature Park land acquisition. And Mr. Louis Feinberg will assist us with this item.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, members of council. I think you're all familiar with this grant. Before you is the grant agreement, and I would draw your attention to Exhibit A, which is the resolution that GOCO requires authorizing the mayor to execute the contract, and also that the city commits to the grant match of $77,520 maximum.
Is that the Exhibit 6-10, I believe?
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have the number.
Oh, okay, yeah, Exhibit A, resolution.
It would be Exhibit A of the.
Okay, yeah, the
resolution.
attachment, okay. Oh, yes, I see. So basically, our next step would be to put it on the next regular agenda for action.
That is correct.
Very good. Any questions from council? Mr. Benado?
Madam Mayor, I had some discussion with Mr. Akers here about trying to get maybe Trout Unlimited involved with this kind of a project to help us out and see what they could do for us as far as, you know, helping us out with that project. Can you get in touch with them, or have you
Sure,
been in
I've
touch with
actually
them?
been in touch with them, Councilmember Benado. We are actually working on collaborating on a Fishing is Fun grant right now to develop the riverfront in this area like it's been developed in the first part of the demonstration project. I haven't discussed with them specifically helping out on this. Are you referring to in helping out with the match?
Right, right.
Okay, I haven't had that discussion with them, but I certainly could.
So I don't see no problem with it, as long as the city has that money set aside where we can match that grant, because, you know, we don't want to bite off too much of it we can chew either.
Sure.
So if we have the money there where we can match this grant, then I don't see no problem.
It has been budgeted. Yes, the money has been budgeted in the 2013 year.
That's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Any additional questions?
There's just one other small item I'd like to add. In a discussion with GOCO, the amount that we requested in this grant was based on an initial appraisal. GOCO requires additional appraisals, and should the amount come in lower, the GOCO has told me that we could acquire more land. So the grant amount would stay the same, but if the total per acre value came down, we could use the money awarded to purchase more land.
And we only have,
Sure.
and we only have one property owner over in that
There
part?
are
How many?
three, but by far, the majority is owned by one. One of the owners, we're requesting to acquire 28 acres. One property owner owns approximately 26 acres. And one owns approximately 2, and then one owns a very, very small 25 by 100.
There's no stipulation between the landowners and stuff like that about the city getting that land, is there?
No, part of the grant process, we obtained letters of commitment from each of the landowners that said if the second appraisal came in less than the original appraisal, that they would have the right to reevaluate and decide if they wanted to proceed. In communication with the individual landowners, it sounds like unless it's drastically reduced, that they would be willing to proceed.
Any additional questions? Then we'll see this on the agenda at the next regular meeting?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Akers.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. And our next agenda item is number 7, consideration of a letter of support for the Governor's Cabinet visit for the summer of 2013. And Ms. Tara Marshall will help us with this agenda item.
Great, thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Good.
Good. I want to point out Stacy Rivera with Norwest, who's here with me today.
Welcome.
Yes, Stacy and I are partnering on this proposal. So it's a great public-private partnership. And what we are doing is, and we're hoping to submit the proposal as the City of Trinidad to Action 22. As you know, the City of Trinidad is a member of Action 22. It's a political action committee formed with the 22 counties in the southeast region of the state. And what Action 22 has done is they will be bringing the Governor's Cabinet to southern and southeast Colorado in June and July. And they are accepting proposals, which would be due on January 18th, from municipalities who are interested in hosting this event. So Stacy and I have been running around building a large group that would support this. We met with Dr. Charles Bolin yesterday, and the college has agreed to host the event at no charge. So we will be able to have all of the daily activities, which would include a round table with the cabinet as well as breakout sessions. And Pioneer Natural Resources has agreed to sponsor the luncheon. So this could be offered to the public at no charge. We've received letters of support, or will be receiving them, from Trinidad and Los Animas County Economic Development, from the Trinidad Community Foundation. We presented to the Board of County Commissioners this morning and are hoping to receive a letter from them next week. And I feel certain we'll be able to get one from the Trinidad and Los Animas County Chamber of Commerce. So I guess we need a little support from the City of Trinidad since we plan to submit the application as the city. So is this something you're interested in, and do you have any questions?
Well, last year it was here in town and brought basically the Governor's Cabinet to have an opportunity to visit with stakeholders, citizens, elected officials. And I was privileged to be able to attend. It was a terrific turnout. I learned a lot, and I think it's important because it really does help educate the Governor's Cabinet about all the wonderful opportunities down here in southern Colorado and in particular in Trinidad. So when we bring this forward for action, I'm hoping we vote so I can sign that little letter of support.
And I should add that we are targeting at least 100 participants this year, and we have reached out to all the local media, our local media partners, and they've agreed to market this event should we be given the opportunity to host it at no charge. So I think we've brought together a pretty good public-private partnership.
You've done your work well.
Okay, thank you.
The city would be foolish not to participate with all the camaraderie that's being developed and people working together to do good things.
Any questions from council?
No, I just feel that it's an extreme opportunity and we need to do our best to support it.
Okay, great. And thank you to Mr. Rivera for participating with us.
Yes, thank you.
Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
The next agenda item is agenda item number 8, which is discussion of other agenda items. And Mr. Aker, do you or your staff have anything you care to share with council about maybe possible workshop topics?
I don't have any further suggestions at this time. I do have a couple of things that I do need to bring to council's attention. And this probably is as good as time as any, because one of them is kind of time sensitive. And I think I've touched base with, I think every council member wanted to just bring it up in the open meeting as well. We've been invited to take a short little trip to Topeka on Amtrak, leaving La Junta tomorrow evening about 7, arriving in Topeka and having breakfast, I think around 8 time frame in the morning on Thursday morning, and then having a rolling meeting on the way back to La Junta with the group that the city is participating in regarding lobbying in Washington, D.C. to try to keep the Southwest Chief line operating. We got this notice late on Friday, still trying to find out some more specifics. But I'm planning on it, I'm going. Just wanted to, got 2 tickets for us. So I just wanted to open it up to, I think it'd be great if we had city council representation as well on the trip. And then we would come back and report that and add that as a work session item, probably towards the end of the month.
How many tickets did you say they provided?
They have told us 2 to 4.
2 to 4,
And
okay.
what I'm trying to find out right now, I think it's, I don't have a lot of more information on who else is attending. I've got a couple other phone calls out. One to the city manager in La Junta and then also to the lobbying firm. I've not heard back from either one of those. As far as should we bring council members, should it be citizens? Right now I'm erring on staff and the council member. I don't know if it's appropriate to include outside parties at this time or not, but still trying to find that out. And if I find that out yet today or sometime tomorrow, I'll most certainly notify council about that.
Does any member of council want to take a little train ride?
Sorry about the short notice. They'll leave in 10 minutes.
I will go, but I have a conflict, and I do like riding the train.
And it's a working trip. So
Yes,
we'll
working
be
trip.
rolling up our sleeves and coming up with some ideas.
No one invited me to go to Trinidad.
There's a reason.
Yeah. That's it.
I'm highly supportive of the train service and would like to attend.
Okay, great. We'll coordinate, and but again, we will bring back in. Yes, sir.
If we do have an opportunity to have a citizen to go, I'd like to appoint Mr. Sears if he'd be interested in going because he's done a lot to get things going.
Thank you, Mr.
Mr. Sears, can you come forward to the microphone, sir? Thank you. We want to be sure and hear what you have to share with us.
Can I sneak in 2 other questions? Louis just informed me of this, and he's going to email me the details. I've got some company at the house, so this might be a great opportunity for me to get out of having to squire people around. No, I have to find out the extent of my obligations for the next couple of days, but when he emails me, I'll get in touch with the office. I think I would like to go. I actually have some ideas about this that
Excellent.
I'd like to fire up some people. I've been doing it with emails. I'd like to do face-to-face, so if I could talk my way out of the house, I would be interested in going.
I think your attendance would be real beneficial.
Yeah, you actually are the individual that brought this issue to council's attention like a year or so ago.
May I ask a question and make a
Yes.
suggestion? I noticed the bills in the paper that there was it was 0 for the city attorney's spot. Is that just a temporary transition thing, or are you donating your services? In the newspaper the other day, where it lists all the city's payments, it says city attorney 0.
Oh, he was under contract for a while where it was like an hourly, and then now he's on salary. So he's getting 0.
It feels like propane.
I was just curious. I was going to nominate him for Citizen of the Year.
I know. I'm a great guy, but I'm not that great guy.
And then the other quick thing is I don't see the public works person here, and there's 2 big...
He's in
the Oh, sorry. I'll take care of it. There's 2 big potholes by the post office, and everybody in town runs into them.
Go get it.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Sears, and
I'll be in
please
touch
sure
with
and be
Louis
in touch.
and Mr. Aker,
Yes.
whether I can go.
Because if it's possible, that'd be great to have you participate in that activity. Anything else?
The only other item, and this will be in the future, probably in the March timeframe, but I did have a meeting with the county administrator this week. We had an initial discussion, and she and I are going to continue to have conversations and dialogue, working with our staff as well, with the goal of having a joint meeting between council and the county commissioners, probably sometime in the March timeframe. This is kind of an outpouring of a letter that I received and the mayor received from the commissioners, encouraging us to work together. It's also been something that I was hoping to get accomplished, as well as to start outreach with her. Our first order of business is we want to take a look at economic development. We think that's the highest priority that she and I need to start happening together, along with the Economic Development Corporation. And as we work with our staff, ideas on how we work together, we'll kind of formulate those, bring those back to our respective bodies, and then have a joint meeting where the elected officials can have that discussion as well.
Yes, sir. The letter that was co-addressed to you and I listed some very, very important topics where there can be efficiencies and collaboration between the county and the city. And the beneficiary, of course, is going to be, if we can reduce costs to both government entities, it's our taxpayers. They are going to benefit from any collaborations that we can put together. So I was thrilled to see that it appears that you and Ms. Fabic are moving in a direction where we can find those efficiencies and implement them.
So that'll be another meeting to look forward to in the coming months.
Yes, sir.
That's all that I've got at this time. Thank you.
Any suggestions, comments, input from members of council?
I'd like the suggestion that he worked for nothing.
Oh, it feels like it.
That's
right. Really.
I have one question. We talked
Yes,
about
ma'am.
taking up the legal marijuana issue.
And that is, I believe, going to be something that we have to have a full workshop on. One of the issues that we're waiting on is to get some further guidance from the Colorado Municipal League. And I believe right now the ordinance that was adopted by the city in connection with the medical marijuana, which may have been a number of years ago, the language in that ordinance suggests that it's prohibited at the present time, but I think that truly is going to be something that we need to look at and thoroughly discuss, because there's federal constitutional laws, well, actually the supremacy clause, whether the federal government's rules concerning marijuana are going to be enforced despite what the state of Colorado has determined. So it's an important topic, and we certainly do need to talk about it. And I think that would be a topic for one full work session.
I was just conferring with the city attorney. What we will do is either the second or the first or the second work session have a topic just for that. We'll get the information together where we're at right now, so that I think we can be at least ahead of the game, and also that'll give council that opportunity to give us some information on things you might want us considering or talking with the state about, or CML about what ifs or some of the ideas that council's got. So it'll be kind of an interim pre-whatever comes out of the state mid-year, but I think it's good for us to be ahead of it. And we think February would be a good time to tackle it, at least to get a start on it.
As a matter of FYI, Sheriff Casillas today is in transit to a sheriff's convention up in Loveland, I believe. And a major issue of discussion is going to be medical marijuana.
And
Legal
marijuana.
yeah.
It's Amendment 64 or something.
Right, that's absolutely correct. And also the police chief has sent us a number of emails and has been...
Right, the county, I think, has taken action about medical marijuana and presumably other
Yes,
other
the
types.
city did.
Right.
So the point being is, perhaps we necessarily need to involve the county commissioners and the sheriff in anything that we choose to do. It's a huge discussion.
It is.
It is.
I also want to share with council that I received communication from involving the governor's commission that is have been tasked with inquiring into this and identifying issues. And I did send them some questions. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but I'll provide those to you, Mr. Aker, and then we can put them in the packet to everyone.
That would be great. And we'll also try to get an update of where that commission is. My last understanding, there were 2 groups in a task force meeting on behalf of the governor, and their work was supposed to be ending pretty quick.
Yes.
So if we can get an update through the governor's office on that, we'll get that as well, so we can add that to our list of information.
Anything else? Before we conclude the work session, I do want to draw everybody's attention to an email that was placed at your table. It's from Kim Schultz, who is now working with Mr. Jay Chimino. And it sets forth several events, and I want to draw particular attention to a scheduled January 21st press conference and special announcement of La Porta de Colorado commercial development. The location is to be determined, and that will be at 10:30 a.m. on January 21st. I'm very excited about this because this suggests that Mr. Chimino is moving forward with a development project. So I would encourage us all to watch that item. And there are 3 other items in the email that I request that you look at. One is a reception on January 15th to introduce Mount Carmel Health, Wellness, and Community Center, the next level, and there's a meeting scheduled for that. And the rest I will commend to your reading, but I'm particularly excited about what appears to be an announcement for a development project that's going to be undertaken by Mr. Chimino. And if there are no other items for consideration, the work session is adjourned. Our time is 2:18 p.m. and we are off the record. We also have a special meeting posted, and would you all like to take maybe a 10-minute break before we get underway with the special meeting, or you want to roll directly into that? Okay. Miss?
We maybe take 5 minutes to see if I can't find an answer to
Oh, about the
Miles' question.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you.
5 minutes. We'll stay put.
Yes. Let's go.
There you go. You're good to go then.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today's date is Tuesday, January 8, 2013. The time is now 2:25 p.m. I would like everyone to remember to turn off their cell phones and pagers, or to put the phone on vibrate. And council will please come to order for its special meeting. Welcome to everyone who's here. Would you please rise with me to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Garrett. Would you please conduct the roll call?
Bolton?
Here.
Donato?
Here.
Matei?
Here.
Miles?
Here.
Shu?
Here.
Velasquez?
Here.
Becca Gonzalez?
Here. For the record, a quorum is present and council may proceed with business stated in the notice of meeting. The next agenda item is item number 1, the first reading of an ordinance repealing and reenacting section 1212 of Article 2 of Chapter 12 of the Code of the City of Trinidad, Colorado, for the purpose of restructuring rates for electric service, power, and energy, and setting a hearing date for consideration of said ordinance. As you know, this item was just discussed in our work session moments ago. And Ms. Garrett, I know this is a real long ordinance. But if you will read aloud the appropriate sections, and then we'll identify someone to introduce the ordinance, set a hearing date, and consider approval of the first reading.
Does somebody want to introduce it?
I'll introduce it.
Okay, Carol Bolton will introduce the ordinance.
An ordinance repealing and reenacting Section 12-12 of Article 2 of Chapter 12 of the Code of the City of Trinidad, Colorado, for the purpose of restructuring rates for electric service, power, and energy. Whereas Chapter 11, Section 11.1 of the Charter of the City of Trinidad, Colorado confers upon the City Council all municipal powers relating to all utilities and franchise, including but without limitation to all powers and authority now existing and which may be hereafter provided by the Constitution or statutes of the State of Colorado or by ordinance or by this charter. And whereas the City Council has caused an electric rate study to be conducted to determine if the rates charged to its customers for service, power, and energy will sustain the city's power and light fund and ensure its solvency. And whereas the City Council hereby finds and declares that amendments to the electric service, power, and energy rates are necessary to ensure both the solvency of the city's power and light fund and the long-term provision of electric service, power, and energy to the city's inhabitants. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Trinidad, Colorado, that 1, repeal and reenactment. Section 12-12 of Article 2 of Chapter 12 of the Code of the City of Trinidad, Colorado is hereby repealed in its entirety and reenacted as follows. Section 12-12 rates for electric service, power, and energy. Effective February 1st, 2013, the established rate for electric service, power, and energy delivered shall be as follows and shall be reflected on utility bills issued on and after February 1st, 2013. 1. Residential electric service, A, applicability, available for single-family units and individually metered multifamily units within the utility service area for the purpose of lighting, cooking, household appliances, and space heating. Single-family units and individually metered multifamily units shall be considered as buildings or units used solely as residences. Residences used for commercial purposes shall be billed at the commercial rate unless the residential and commercial services are arranged to allow separate metering of the residential portion. B, character of service, alternating current, 60 Hz, single phase, 120 over 240 volts. C, monthly rate. The established rate for electric service, power, and energy delivered shall be as follows and shall be reflected on utility bills issued on and after June 1st through the last day of September for summer rates, and on and after October 1st through the last day of May for winter rates. Monthly charge, summer and winter rates. Summer rates extending from June 1st through the last day of September, $9. Winter rates, October 1st through the last day of May, $9. First 600 kilowatt hour charge for summer rates is 12.76 cents per kilowatt hour. For winter, 12.76 cents per kilowatt hour. Over 600 kilowatt hours, summer rate 12.76 cents per kilowatt hour. Winter rates 9.76 cents per kilowatt hour. D, power cost adjustment PCA. When applicable, a power cost adjustment PCA as specified in subsection 7 herein shall be applied to all kilowatt hours billed for the current month. E, tax adjustment. All rates are net and subject to applicable taxes. F, multifamily dwelling units. Where 2 or more dwelling units are served through 1 meter, this rate shall apply by multiplying the above kilowatt hour blocks of the rate and the minimum charge by the number of dwelling units so served. 2, electric water heater service. A, applicability. Available for individual permanently installed storage type electric water heaters of 30 gallons or more capacity and of a type approved by the utility. Service hereunder shall be supplied through a separate meter. Each element within the water heater will be non-inductive and controlled by a separate thermostat. The upper thermostat and element will be interconnected with the lower thermostat and element to permit operation of only one element at a time. B, character of service, alternating current, 60 Hz, single phase, 240 volts. C, monthly rate. The established rate for electric service, power, and energy delivered shall be as follows and shall be reflected on utility bills issued on and after June 1st through the last day of September for summer rates, and on and after October 1st through the last day of May for winter rates. Summer monthly charge $3, winter monthly charge $3. All kilowatt hours, summer charge 13.09 cents per kilowatt hour, winter charge 9.09 cents per kilowatt hour. D, power cost adjustment PCA. When applicable, a power cost adjustment PCA as specified in subsection 7 herein shall be applied to all kilowatt hours billed for the current month. E, tax adjustment. All charges are net and subject to applicable taxes. 3, general electric service, A, applicability. Available for commercial and non-residential customers for lighting and other electric services where the service is taken through 1 meter and does not require in excess of 50 kVA of transformer capacity. B, character of service, alternating current, 60 hertz, single phase, 120 volts, or 120 over 240 volts. 3-phase, 3-wire, 240 volts. 3-phase, 4-wire, 120 over 208 volts. C, monthly rate, the established rate for electric power, service power and energy delivered shall be as follows, and shall be reflected on utility bills issued on and after June 1st through the last day of September for summer rates, and on and after October 1st through the last day of May for winter rates. Monthly charge, summer and winter, $9. First 500 kilowatt hours, summer rate 13.75 cents per kilowatt hour. Winter, 13.75 cents per kilowatt hour. The next 1,000 kilowatt hour charge, summer, it's 13.75 cents per kilowatt hour. Winter, 11.75 cents per kilowatt hour. Over 1,500 kilowatt hours, summer rate 13.75 cents per kilowatt hour. Winter rate 9.75 cents per kilowatt hour. D, power cost adjustment, PCA. When applicable, a power cost adjustment, PCA, as specified in subsection 7 herein, shall be applied to all kilowatt hours billed for the current month. E, tax adjustment. All charges are net and subject to applicable taxes. F, multiple meters. All metering points shall be billed as separate customers. 4, large light and power. A, applicability. Available for commercial and industrial customers using electricity for lighting and power purposes through 1 point. B, character of service. Alternating current, 60 hertz, single phase, 120 volts or 120 over 240 volts. 3-phase, 3-wire, 240 volts. 3-phase, 4-wire, 120 over 208 volts, or at available distribution voltages. C, minimum charge, demand charge, but not less than 80% of the highest demand of the preceding 11 months, or 50 kilowatts, whichever is higher. D, monthly charge, the established rate for electric service, power, and energy delivered shall be as follows and shall be reflected on utility bills issued on and after June 1st through the last day of September for summer rates, and on and after October 1st through the last day of May for winter rates. Summer rate and winter rate monthly charge, $25. Energy charge, first 10,000 kilowatt hours, 10.12 cents per kilowatt hour in summer, 10.12 cents per kilowatt hour in winter. Next 20,000 kilowatt hour charge, summer, 10.12 cents per kilowatt hour, winter, 9.12 cents per kilowatt hour. Over 30,000 kilowatt hours, summer charge, 10.12 cents per kilowatt hour, winter charge, 9.12 cents per kilowatt hour. Demand, 30-minute integrated, all kilowatts, $10 per kilowatt, summer, winter, $7 per kilowatt. E, multiple meters. All metering points shall be billed to separate customers. F, primary metering discount. When service is taken at distribution voltage without transformation, a 3% discount will be allowed in both the energy and demand measurements. G, power cost adjustment, PCA. When applicable, a power cost adjustment, PCA, as specified in subsection 7 herein, shall be applied to all kilowatt hours billed for the current month. H, tax adjustment. All charges are net and subject to applicable taxes. 5, security lighting. A, applicability. Available for area lighting in private areas and grounds for protective and safety purposes only, where the city installs high-pressure sodium HPS type lighting fixtures in sizes determined by the city as appropriate for the area to be lit. B, character of service. Dusk to dawn operation of utility-owned HPS fixtures. C, installation fees. A non-refundable fee for the installation of utility-supplied poles shall be $60. The amount necessary for the cost of the wire connections and hardware will be calculated and added to the non-refundable fees set forth above. D, monthly rate. Lamp charge, 125-watt mercury vapor, $12.60 per month. PCA kilowatt hour is 67. 200-watt mercury vapor, $13.60 per month, 76 PCA per kilowatt hour. 400-watt mercury vapor, $26.50 per month, 153 PCA per kilowatt hour. 100-watt high-pressure sodium, $8.10 per month, PCA 38 per kilowatt hour. 150-watt high-pressure sodium, $12.20, 58 PCA per kilowatt hour. 200-watt high-pressure sodium, $17.20, 77 PCA per kilowatt hour. 250 watt high pressure sodium, $17.20. The PCA is 96 per kilowatt hour. 400 watt high pressure sodium, $26.40, 153 PCA per kilowatt hour. E power cost adjustment, PCA. When applicable, a power cost adjustment, PCA, as specified in subsection 7 herein, shall be applied to all kilowatt hours billed for the current month. Tax tax adjustment, all charges are net and subject to applicable taxes. 6, street lighting. A, applicability available for municipal, county, and state street lighting on public roads, streets, and other public areas and grounds for protective and safety purposes only. B, character of service, dusk to dawn operation of government agencies, specified street lamps and poles that are utility installed, owned, and operated. C, monthly rate. 175 mercury vapor, $12.65 per month, PCA 67 per kilowatt hour per month. 200 mercury vapor, $13.65 per month, PCA 76 per kilowatt hour per month. 400 mercury vapor, $26.62, PCA is 153 kilowatt hours per month. 100 high pressure sodium, $8.16 per month, PCA 38 kilowatt hours per month. 150 high pressure sodium, $12.24 per month, PCA 58 kilowatt hours per month. 200 high pressure sodium, $17.34 per month, PCA 77 kilowatt hours per month. 250 high pressure sodium, $17.34 per month, PCA 96 kilowatt hours per month. 400 high pressure sodium, $26.52 per month, PCA 153 kilowatt hours per month. 165 induction, $12.65 per month, PCA 63 kilowatt hours per month. 70 mercury metal halide, $12.65 per month, PCA 27 kilowatt hours per month. 65 induction, $12.65 per month, PCA 25 kilowatt hours per month. D, power cost adjustment, PCA. When applicable, a power cost adjustment, PCA, is specified in subsection 7 herein, shall be applied to all kilowatt hours billed for the current month. E, tax adjustment, all charges are net and subject to applicable taxes. 7, power cost adjustment, PCA. A, any bill may be adjusted for variations in the cost of power to the utility. Such power cost adjustments, PCAs, may be recommended from time to time by utility staff and may be authorized by the City Council. The City Council may authorize a PCA in the event that significant revenue changes are necessary because of unexpected increases in the cost of power, including energy and demand costs, or because of other emergencies that are estimated to be greater than 10% deviation in fiscal year power costs budgeted. B, a PCA shall be calculated as follows. PCA equals A minus 10.33 cents divided by the kilowatt hours billed during the preceding month plus B. That's divided by kilowatt hours sold during the preceding month. Where A equals the energy cost per kilowatt hour, kWh, billed during the preceding month by the Arkansas River Power Authority, and B equals any energy cost adjustment billed during the preceding month by the Arkansas River Power Authority. C, if authorized by the City Council, a PCA shall be effective for a period not to exceed 12 months. After such period, the PCA shall automatically expire unless reauthorized by the City Council. When applicable, a PCA shall be applied to all kilowatt hours billed in the current month. 2, authorization of power cost adjustment, PCA. The City Council hereby does not authorize a power cost adjustment, PCA, as set forth in Section 12-12, subsection 7B of Code of the City of Trinidad, Colorado. If the Council does authorize a PCA, it shall set it for a 12-month period. 3, severability. If any article, section, paragraph, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is held to be unconstitutional or invalid for any reason, such decision shall not affect the validity or constitutionality of the remaining portions of this ordinance. The City Council hereby declares that it would have passed this ordinance and each part or parts hereof, irrespective of the fact that any part or parts be declared unconstitutional or invalid. Introduced by Councilmember Bolton, read and ordered published this 8th day of January 2013.
Thank you, Ms. Garrett. Would you like a little drink of water?
No.
That was a total of 6 pages of very concentrated reading, and we appreciate it. Do we have a proposed date for the hearing?
Special meeting on January 22nd.
Special meeting?
At 1:30.
January 27th?
22nd?
22nd, I'm sorry, at 1:30, okay. I will now entertain a motion to set the hearing for January 22nd at 1:30 p.m. and to approve the ordinance on first reading.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Shu. Second by Mr. Mattei. Any questions from members of council?
Mayor, I just want to go on record that in reading through this rate design, it's highly skewed towards large users. I have some very substantial questions on Mr. Euler. It looks like, by my read, the average customer isn't going to get a rate decrease. It's only the large users. So I have very substantial concerns about that, and I'm going to talk to Mr. Euler this week, I guess with Mr. Aker. I don't know if anyone else would like to join the discussion.
Actually, I think there may be an explanation for that. The confidential memo that was provided some time ago by former city attorney Jared Beatty had expressed concerns about a disproportionate impact affecting the large power users. So it would seem to me that as he adjusted it, it would be possibly logical that the one who would benefit the most by these current adjustments would be the large power users. But I can make sure that that memo is provided to you. I have a copy of it, and I'm sure staff could locate it and share it with you.
And I would just like to add, if there's any suggested changes between now and the public hearing, I believe they'll be of such nature that we wouldn't have to start the whole process again. But we will, Ms. Miles and I are meeting tomorrow. We're going to give Phil a call and ask him.
Okay, that's good. Of course, just what I'm relating is my recollection of how this issue came to light, but probably would be good to visit with him in detail about it and get his precise explanation. Any additional questions or comments? I think we're ready for the roll call.
Walton?
Yes.
Donato?
Yes.
Mattei?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Shu?
Yes.
Velasquez?
Yes.
Dr. Gonzalez?
Yes. The next agenda item is item number 2, an executive session for the following reasons. 1, for discussion of a personnel matter under Colorado Revised Statute, section 246-4022F, and not involving any specific employee who has requested discussion of the matter in open session, any member of this body or an elected official, the appointment of any person to fill an office of this body or of an elected official, or personnel policies that do not require the discussion of matters personal to a particular employee, and specifically a conference with the city attorney for attorney-client communications regarding city manager applications. And the second reason is for a conference with the city attorney for the purpose of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions under Colorado Revised Statute 24-6-402-4B pertaining to Mantalli's Partnership doing business as Mantalli's at 137 West Main Street, and B, Robert Leonetti doing business as Park Cafe at 608 Arizona Avenue. May I have a motion to go into executive session for the reasons stated?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Bolton.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bonato. Any discussion or questions? And we're ready for, oh, Mr. Aker, I'm sorry, sir.
I just want to note that I am not going to sit in on the one that's pertaining to the city manager discussion, but I will sit in on the one regarding the liquor licensing, and then I have an appointment back in Denver I need to get back to, so I may, depending on timing, I may or may not be back for the return of the meeting, so.
Once we go into executive session, what we'll do is we'll take matters that you can sit in on, and then after that, if you need to get headed north, that's fine. And then we'll take care of the other matter that you would otherwise not participate in.
Great.
Any other questions? I think we're ready for the roll call.
Bolton?
Yes.
Benado?
Yes.
Matei?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Shu?
Yes.
Velazquez?
Yes.
Dr. Gonzalez?
Yes. And the audience, you're invited to remain in council chambers as we're going to go next door briefly, and we will be back. We're Ms. Carol Bolton, Mr. Joe Benado, Mr. Anthony Les Downs, and for a period of time discussing the matters concerning the liquor license issues, Mr. Tom Aker was present, and for the record, he was not present in executive session when the matters concerning the identification, the personnel issues were discussed. For the record, if any person who participated in the executive session believes that any substantial discussion of any matters not included in the motion to go into executive session occurred during the executive session, or that an improper action occurred during the executive session in violation of the open meetings law, I would ask that you state your concerns for the record at this time. And seeing no concerns or hearing none, the next agenda item is number 3. We are ready to entertain a motion to identify the finalists for the position of city manager.
I'd make a motion for the announcement of names of finalists for the position of city manager. Those finalists being Mr. Tom Aker of Denver, Colorado, and Mr. John Schneider of Newport Richey, Florida.
Motion by Ms. Bolton.
Second.
Second by Mr. Matei. Any discussion? I think we're ready for the roll call.
Bolton?
Yes.
Benado?
Yes.
Matei?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Shu?
Yes.
Velazquez?
Yes.
Dr. Gonzalez?
Yes. The interviews will be scheduled, and the date, Mr. Downs, would you refresh my recollection?
Yes.
We're going to try and do it for the 22nd?
Well, Madam Mayor, we were going to shoot for the 22nd, but I know we need 14 days. This being January 8th. If one day were not included, Ms. Garrett, would council need to go until the 23rd of January to make the announcement? I know we're having a meeting on the 22nd, but would it need to be announced the next day? I mean,
You're announcing today publicly, so I
Well, I'm
would say
sorry.
22nd
I'm
would
sorry.
be okay.
Okay, the 22nd
And
would
it's
be okay.
before selection, it's not before the interviews. So
Right.
if they make the selection on the 29th,
Okay.
it's plenty of time.
Okay, so that's 14 days. That would be okay for the 22nd.
So we're going to try and do the interviews on the 22nd.
That's correct.
And make the selection on the 29th of January. And the reason I just want to make sure that's in the record is for the benefit of our members in the audience who are with the media, so they'll know what's occurring. Having completed all posted business for the special meeting, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Shu.
Second.
Second by Ms. Velazquez. Any discussion? And we're ready for the roll call.
Bolton?
Yes.
Benado?
Yes.
Matei?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Shu?
Yes.
Velazquez?
Yes.
Dr. Gonzalez?
Yes. Thank you, and we're now off the record.
Hello.
John Snyder, we may just have to go to the train station.
I'll have to actually look at the location. I'm sorry.
Ricky, take care of yourself.
Well, I tell you what.
Oh, well,
It's not coming all the way
Can you
back.
both give me something in writing now?
I asked the
On
same
Gotcha.
question.
your
Okay.
request. And the reason I'm doing that is
Okay.
you haven't given
I'll
Mr.
check
Chairman
with
an opportunity to know yet that he is a finalist.
You
Just
just
give us a chance to contact him
Okay.
before we release that by.
You guys have fun.
I'm gonna hit the road.
Okay, have a safe trip, Paul. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you, sir.
so hopefully I'll be able to still get it done this afternoon, but it will give me time.
These are gone.
That would
They're getting even better.
Well, thank you. Yeah, you know, Frank and Sue, I just like that. And I know the coffee sneezes, and I don't want to get anyone sick like they're going to. And I was like, but I think Sudafed has dried me up.
And you're taking an antibiotic?
I am, I
Maybe
started
you
today.
have bronchitis.
Well, I know, you know, they gave me a Z-Pack when I was to the doctor today. Yeah, but they didn't even give me a throat culture one of it. They just said, no, they said, here's your script, get the hell out of here. There's so much of this going around. Yeah, that's right. Anthony, Godspeed, brother. 15th or 16th, what did you say?
What's that? It's all good.
What day is your procedure?
Florida?
Yeah, we can.
I have to go look at this.
Because I intended to
If you want to
be
stop in my office.
Tuesday's meeting.
Yeah.
You can just
email it to my
And then the document that on-call issue.
You think you can do it by
I said, can we move you ahead of date?
I'll verify with our consultant, but I should be able to get it to you this afternoon.
Yeah, you're too tough to kill.
Oh, you can also email it to Michael Husband.
So,
Is
good
that
luck.
I'm not sure I want to do. I found it very
Just let us know, we'll go by there and check, I'll pick up your mail.
Good, thank you. I'll let you know.
Newspapers or whatever.
Oh, do you want
Well, you're writing a long letter for me, Steve.
Okay, but if you need even for us to go, and I don't know.
So just question, we have to read my name.
Oh, yeah.
That's the tape for the
Thank you.
Certainly, thank you.
Thank you. I will call you and
I'm
let you
thinking that's
Okay.
how you spell his
Hey, have a great day.
know. I don't do
I
that.
just
I
kind
know,
of got
I
him.
know.
I think I have him in my email contact.
Just forward the both of us and then follow up.
I will do that for you. Thank you.
Mayor, will the interviews be in open session?
Yes, absolutely.
Open session.
We want to be as transparent as possible,
That's an
and
afternoon work session, right?
I believe so.
22nd?
Yes.
Yeah, so 2 weeks from now is what it would be.
Yeah.
Okay,
And it will be open.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, everyone.
You bet. I'll get you something as quick as I can,
All
okay?
right. Sure.
Oh, Ms. Audra, I'm sorry, these are, make sure I check my homework, make sure I didn't mess something up.
Good, good.
Well, it's still daylight outside. That's always good.
Yes.